Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today marks our 30th video in our Head-to-Head 9 series, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching first off, and congratulations for reaching the finals. The finals take place between the Adventurers Club and the Tile Inspectors. We're going to look at each one of these individually. So today is part 1, and we're going to look at the Adventurers Club park. I feel like each of these finals parks deserves their own video, just as a congratulatory for getting to this point. So the finals parks are a little bit larger, and you can use up to 5 builders for them per the contest rules. So the Adventurers Club Park is 50% by Hydro Portal, 30% from Scoop, 10% from Raunchy Russell, 5% Hex, and 5% Irritant. Now the name of this one is actually Adventurers Club, so both the team name and the finals park in a pretty impressive amount of pre-planning are the same thing. So really what this map is all of the places we've been this season with the Adventurers Club parks are now brought here back to this society of the Adventurers Club of some kind, I guess, and we get to kind of see their home base. So let's dive in. First things first is the impressive architecture. Hydro is quite the master at this, as he's become this season. Loving the sort of ominous birds here up top, but regardless of that, there's just tons and tons of facade detail throughout the whole space. We've got this one over here too, which I kind of like this one better. It seems a more manageable size to me, so you can kind of take in all of the different stuff, and I love how this roof is laid out. But regardless, they're both nice. Blue and green maybe clash quite a little bit between the two, but from a just architectural design standpoint, really nice, especially these end pieces. Like, look at this. So we have trackitecture on top of trackitecture on top of columns and these half diagonals and everything else, and it's kind of what you've come to expect in this contest, I feel like, and that's not at all a bad thing. We've also got a nice little diagonal clock tower right here. Lots of terrace, lots of kind of things as we've got all the way down here, and then around, and we can kind of see some of the other angles here. We've got our nice helicopter here landing on the lawn. A little precarious here, as we've got some lava and things below in the caves, which we'll get to here in a minute. Spin around, and unfortunately we see one of the challenges here is that we're not quite done, so it's a little bit unfinished, which is a shame because what is here is really nice. So it's a shame that we didn't quite get there. But here we've got all the different characters from all over time, so from Lincoln to a Sasquatch, everybody here having a party inside the big chalet, or chateau, I suppose. And then inside our kind of museum of sorts, we get this great dinosaur skeleton here, and just a couple of other parts and pieces here. We've got hydraulic gates, so Mr. Metro Portal here, and a couple different levels. I love the waterfalls here. Actually, we can probably cut away a little bit and see what there is to see. This is a pretty neat little round table here, looking at a miniature pyramid from the El Dorado Park that we looked at earlier, and here's a Florida Action Park little frozen vehicle there also. Well, let's get into the park proper. There's a lot of different stuff to see, but we'll jump right into the middle here because this is sort of the first thing that comes across. So this is a Navigator, a B&M inverted coaster. Kind of wrapping around our sort of multi-level space here. We kind of have this almost secret agent-y type feel to the space with all these big docks and ports and other things, and sort of the different layers and everything. So we get this nice little drop off of the lift there. A little bit slow on the corkscrew, but on the whole, the layout flows pretty well. Some pacing issues aside. Nice little loop here. Kind of forced with the rock coming through the middle, but I feel like that's one of those tropes that you kind of have to do no matter what. Diving down into our, I guess we'll call this the docks down below, then into the brakes. So a couple fun things here. We've got the gift from El Dorado here, a couple pieces of gold track. Here you've got your space racer. There's a shark here. So all these little just parts and pieces. Here's another El Dorado pyramid. So all the little memorabilia and souvenirs from the various adventurers of the Adventurers Club. This is a nice staircase here, the diagonal stairs. First of all, that is cleanly cut on either side. I feel like the object pieces had previously not really been able to do that super well, so those I'm guessing are new objects, or I just haven't seen them before. Using the new rock objects, and I really love this landscaping throughout. So the colors are quite nice with the oranges, the yellows, and the reds. I do love a good fall color palette. This is kind of why I liked Jappy's Everlang Kingdom that we had reviewed a while back. But always a fan of the fall colors for parks. Let's go over here sort of to this kind of ominous cave beach here and some of these little creatures below. And then on this side, we've got a coaster called Runaway Express. And this is a pretty substantial mine train coaster here. It's got kind of a knot of stuff here in the middle and these sort of, I guess, bone-like arches as comes across. Well, called bone arch there, so I guess we're on the money. Some kind of fun little shoestring type hacking here, or at least just reversing hacks. This is utilizing a similar hack to the tutorial that I had released a little while ago. We're sticking a little bit off the edge here, maybe a little concerning, but not too bad. But nice coaster layout, kind of little fantasy layout here, and I love the way that it sort of wraps around these big arch pillars and goes in and out. We've got sort of 2 colors worth of the rockworks. It's sort of this bit of light and shadow going on. The rockwork is nice. It's substantial enough, but doesn't feel kind of too heavy, I suppose. There's that pull back and then launch again, which is cool. I do like that. And then this kind of first launch on the side there. I do love the supports on this. Just this sort of lattice overbuilt structure kind of feel. It's got a nice look to it. And actually, if we get rid of all the scenery, you can see all the different stuff down below. We're not missing too much by what we can't see. So it does do a nice job at sort of offering you peeks as things come along. And then just the way that this wraps around everything. Now we've got these sort of layered pieces with the single rail lines for the cliffs. I'm sort of on the fence as to whether those are needed or not, but it does sort of give it that sort of horizontality to everything, which is not necessarily a bad thing. As we wrap around to the other side, actually, let's look at this because just noticing it now is the waterfall coming down actually splits apart, so you can kind of see behind it and see into the gold, and then now we drop back again. That was a clever use of the custom ride here, the waterfall ride. And then if we do get rid of all that, you can kind of see, because it's the ride track, you can't actually see through it, so you do have to wait for it, or we can use some cutaway later. These ships are really nice. We got our submarine here, this yacht, and this kind of older ship here. On the other side of the map, we've got 2 more coasters, which we'll pick up this guy kind of halfway through. So this is Nessie with the NE capitalized for New Element, I'm supposing. This is a sort of Loch Ness Monster inspired coaster. First of all, pointing out the nice supports. Looks very well done, because these are often hard to do in the game. Since there's really not anything that kind of shifts across one tile as it comes around. But nice layout overall, especially sort of the visible portions here, and then we have our long helix here, as Loch Ness Monster has in real life. So there's all sorts of stuff there, and this is circling around some roots for this tree to come up. The above ground tree a little less interesting perhaps than the underground tree. As far as just interesting root systems go and everything like that. We're feeling maybe a little squat up here. But I do like this orchard on this side. So you've got the Beatles here, Ringo and Paul and John and all that, as tending to this orchard. And then down below it, we've got our SS Dorado ship here, and a couple of pipes coming out. So these kind of slide pipes as they pop out the side there. We also pick up our train halfway through here, so we've got the lighthouse island here, and the train circles around the lighthouse and then comes back out, crosses this bridge. I love a good high bridge like this with the suspended cables and then the truss. Nicely done, nicely put together, and short little layout kind of wraps around here. And then turn the corner, we have our lobster building here on this, I guess, restaurant. Tables would clue us into that with this pretty fully curved facade, which is a kind of a wild concept to do the whole thing on a curve. Works pretty well, I think. Again, landscaping pretty nice. I love how the rock work sort of wraps up and over this section here. Feels pretty natural throughout the whole thing. And so you get a nice little bit of curved pathway, good views, everything else. Maybe a little concerning there's not a safety rail there, but the adventurers folks are probably safe on their own. All right. Up here now, we've got a telescope and observatory looking out into the stars. So probably looking for Stardust Circuit, perhaps. Pretty nice to see this whole structure here done with trackitecture and some nice curved landscape pieces, or the building pieces, I suppose. Another cool diagonal bridge, and then this whole yard I like as an overall thing. So we got the picnic tables here, the blankets down. We've got Jules Verne here regaling the crowd, and then on this one we have a double height ride. We got a carousel down below and a swing ride up above. I like the idea of using the wooden blocks for spinning up top. It kind of adds some extra motion to it and makes it look like the whole ride is going. Because often the trade-off that you have with custom rides is that the whole thing is static except for this. Here we get a nice roundhouse for the coaster, a couple different kinds of trains here. So this is the other engine that wouldn't, and the little engine that could. This is funny. So this reminds me of the roundhouse in Allegheny Adventures from last season, or actually Logan's Brewery from this time around. And then one of my favorite bits of map is this giant kind of terraced building here with the two glass domes and our ride underneath. This is Ribbit River. This is the homage to Croaked, and it's sort of the start of a dark ride, boat ride, whatever that may be that you kind of see off screen here. Unintentional for sure because it's just part of the whole thing, but I always love how the boats just sort of scoot off after a little while. So here it goes, ready to motor, and zoop off and into the distance. But this has really nice coloration, really nice architecture. I love these crystal versions of the lily pads hanging in the domes. That's pretty well put together throughout. Again, nice staircases, very grand, very kind of regal, I suppose. Love this little elevator that pops up right in the middle of the plaza and then drops down. And then just other little buildings here and there. This is a really kind of cute Asian building, or Asian-ish looking building, I suppose. Kind of offset to the other one here. But a lot to see, a lot of really kind of nice elements here. We can pull down cutaway and kind of see where things were going at one point. So really nice grand entry in here. There were tons and tons of ideas that didn't quite make it the whole way in talking to Josh and team. So it's always a shame that you don't get to pick or don't get to add in the kind of final thoughts and ideas that you would like to. But unfortunately, the pressures of this contest and time and everything else can be a little bit much. Drop down here and see we've got our little seating up top as well. But it's a challenge. But the thing is that they got pretty much a whole park done, barring some interiors here and a little bit of just detailing here. It's a fully completed park, and it's a very nice park at that. So I think there needs to be congratulations to the team for a high quality park. A lot of these retrospective parks are often a little bit difficult because essentially you're building things in the park that you've already seen in some form or another elsewhere. So in order to really make it work, you got to go above and beyond that. Just saying, oh, here's a look at El Dorado, here's a look at Croaked, here's a look at whatever, and use it in a new and interesting functionality. So it's fresh and kind of an interesting idea, and it doesn't seem like a rehash. And that's where the challenge comes with these sorts of maps. And I think they did a pretty nice job on the whole. And there's a lot of just nice little details, nice little cutaways and things like that. Certainly, as we said, would have been nice to see them finish the whole thing, just because I know that there were so many other ideas with it. But I think what's here they can be proud of, and should be, for a great season well done. So congratulations to the Adventurers Club for this map and for everything else they put out so far. All right, well, that is the end of video number 1. So that is Adventurers Club, the park. Next, we will come back with the tile inspectors for the second half of the finals as we wrap up the reviews and reveal the winner. As always, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel as we've gone through this whole series and beyond into the next stuff. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye now.